the analog and the digital world were in a shift. So that we have what was the analog world in the same way as we had the pre-industrial societies, and we have the digital world, and both of them exist at the same time, because we're in a period where we're shifting from one to the other. Now, if you think about the Industrial Revolution, it took at least 150 years before the Industrial Revolution, on a bigger scale, had actually followed through. And in some places, we still see parts of the Industrial Revolution haven't properly hit, but on a global scale, that's what's happening. And during that time, you had both of those sorts of societies, the dominant agrarian society and the dominant industrial society, coexisting in different places, but coexisting. And it created a lot of seemingly illogical things in the friction between those two. And I believe that that's where we are now. We're in the friction between those two. And it makes problems, because what we have is a lot of people who have analog models of how things have worked and try to directly apply those analog models to the digital world that we're in and believe that that will work. And that isn't going to work. And so what we need to do is that we need to look at the models that we use, we need to look at the way we think, we need to see if the way we think was applicable to an analog world, but maybe not applicable to the digital world that we're in at the moment. Now again, the science fiction writer William Gibson said that the future is already here, it's just unevenly distributed. And this is, I would say, true, that we can see that, you know yourself, that here we're talking about broadband, we're talking about the slowness of broadband, and how much of a problem that is, and how we need to get fibre optic cables into people's houses. You're talking about the slowness of dial-up, and how you would be delighted to be able to get some fucking faster speeds than, a 14.4 baud modem, or whatever it is you're working on.
128k.
128k, yeah. And sure, the important thing I would say to you is not to get hung up on that. We need to see, again, you will, when you're working on your programs, when you're working on the projects that you have, you will have to take this into consideration, of course. You will have to take the actualities of the place that you need to do your programs, your projects into consideration. But when we're thinking strategically, you need not to get bogged down in the fact that you only have 128k now. You need to think about how will this be possible when we don't only have 128k, and you will be in a situation where you will have more bandwidth. Before, how many people had 128k? They were, it would be a dream. But now, more and more and more and more and more people have it. In a year's time, more and more and more people will have more. In 20 years' time, so we need to factor those perspectives also into the ideas that we have, into the projects that we're doing, into the thought around how we can use what's coming, because we know that it's coming, to be able to plan now, to be able to plan strategies now that will be useful as those digital changes occur in the places that we are. So I think that these are the sorts of things that we need to be thinking about, the sorts of things that we'll be raising as we move along. And now you can ask me any question you want about anything.